Many people see running as a healthy activity made increasingly better with new technology, but in reality, this incredible sport goes back millions of years, and the modern industries have ruined the sport. There are very few cultures left that practice the ancient art of persistence hunting, but two of the most well-known are the Rarámuri people of Mexico and the San people of the Kalahari Desert. Persistence hunting is an old method to chase down an animal and kill it, not by using weapons, but by running after it until it drops dead. Very few people in the world have ever witnessed this amazing form of hunting, but when they do, they will likely not forget it. One of the things that makes this ancient art more rare is the modern running shoe. These shoes have completely messed up the way we run, and as they are introduced to the cultures that traditionally practice persistence hunting, this art fades away even more. People claim that modern shoes are built with technology that improves with every new model, but they actually increasingly conflict with the mechanism of our body. Cushioning in shoes that supposedly make our feet more comfortable really cause the rest of our body to tense up and remove our natural running mechanics. Few people that have witnessed the extreme endurance of persistence hunting tribes, a good number of them have thankfully provided books, articles, or videos of their experiences. American author Christopher McDougall wrote the famous book Born to Run, focusing mostly on the Rarámuri tribe of Mexico, but also exploring the San tribe of the Kalahari Desert and the history of running shoes. When a group of Rarámuri people competed in the Leadville 100-mile race, they were given modern shoes to wear, but almost immediately switched back into their huarachu sandals. One might think that the new shoes with advanced technology would make these already superhuman athletes better, but it actually made running much more difficult. McDougall goes into large detail about the flaws with running shoes in his book Born to Run, but another great source is an article written by Andrew Bullimore on BreakingMuscle.com. Bullimore describes many things that shoe companies claim to be advanced technology, but are in fact restrictive running shoes. Shoe companies like to put springs in their shoes, making them sound like they will make you faster, but they in fact slow you down significantly. These springs absorb energy that our foot naturally absorbs, causing our foot to have a smaller output of energy with each step that we take. McDougall also explains in Born to Run that this cushioning and springiness causes the rest of our body to relax, leading to completely unnecessary injuries. Yet another issue is the commonly used toe drop in running shoes. This causes the heel to have more cushioning in the shoe than the toe, causing runners to use a heel strike. A heel strike may not seem bad at first since we walk that way, but in reality it destroys our body and speed at the same time. Heel striking causes us to take longer steps, extending our knees more and creating longer contact time with the ground. By extending our knees an unnecessary amount, we put a lot of stress on them, and longer ground contact time makes for less time moving forward. The longer strides cause us to have a slower cadence, the amount of times our feet hit the ground per minute, and to maximize speed, a person should run with a fast cadence and somewhat small stride lengths. Modern running shoes also contain a small toe box, keeping our foot from working the way it's supposed to. This small toe box doesn't allow our toes to expand all the way, causing for less natural running. The difference between running barefoot and with a running shoe on for men is an average of 1/3 of the natural gap between the big and second toe. The big toe is referred to as the hallux, and when a man runs barefoot, the gap between their hallux and second toe is generally 23.73 millimeters, but with a shoe on, it shrinks down to 6.28 millimeters. This is like trying to fit a cube in a round hole. Our feet just don't belong in running shoes that restrict our natural physiology. Speaking of toes, when Galahad Clark traveled to the Kalahari Desert to spend time with the San people who still practice persistence hunting, he noticed that those who wear sandals to run have much more straight toes than the typical person. Clark found that the younger generation of San people are unable to learn the ancient art of persistence hunting because of the amount of time they have to spend on school. They also have a general lack of desire to learn this tradition, saying that it is too difficult, and they would rather hunt with bows, which are extremely inefficient. Part of the reason it may be more difficult for them is that they have been introduced to the practices of the Western world, smoking cigarettes that destroy their lungs and wearing shoes that destroy their feet. Another account of the Sand People and their persistence hunting ability is a BBC Earth documentary by David Attenborough. This short video records the process in which the Sand People track a kudu for hours until they finally get the chance to chase it across the desert. Once the opportunity arises, one of them throws a stick into the air, signifying that it's time for the runner to take off after the kudu. The runner is trying to run after the animal until it collapses to the ground from exhaustion. Humans have an advantage in this situation as we sweat more than any other animal, cooling us off more than them too. Eventually, the kudu runs into thick cover, leaving no tracks of where it went, and the runner must reenact the scenario and figure out the direction in which the kudu fled. After 8 hours of hunting, the kudu finally collapses from exhaustion, and the runner kills it with a spear, mostly as a traditional symbolic gesture, before paying his respects to the animal for providing his family with food. Some people, such as StudioFeureau on YouTube, claim
early humans would just simply outsmart them and craft weapons and tools to hunt them down. And when people would want to go far, we'd just ride our horses, which are much better endurance runners than any humans ever.
These ideas can't hold because we didn't have weapons since the beginning of time, and horses are only native to Central Asia. A theory that stands in direct opposition to this is the running man theory, claiming that we evolved to be able to run long distances. Formed by Daniel Lieberman, the running man theory suggests that the many unique features of humans exist because of a need to run long distances. We have much shorter toes and longer legs than apes, and if our toes were just 20% longer, running would be twice as exhausting. While we can't outrun a predator sprinting after us, the ability to run far distances enabled humans to travel between habitat patches in Africa, as well as chase down prey and scavenge meat from animals. Humans also have a neutral ligament in the neck, which is unique to animals that rely on running for survival. After conducting experiments with barefoot running, Lieberman discovered that the running form used by barefoot runners is much more efficient than that used by shod runners, improving speed, endurance, and reducing injury. By now you're probably wondering, how does this affect me, and why should I care? To this I say that we should never forget our past. In our personal lives, the past is what gets us places, even when we don't want to admit it. We shouldn't leave behind the things that got us where we are today as a human race. Running allowed us to evolve and improve into the intelligent people that humans are now, but it seems as if everyone wants to forget that part of our history. Yes, it is painful and difficult, but so are a lot of things in life. If everyone gave up when things got difficult, nobody would get anywhere. Running keeps us healthy, connects us to our body, and preserves cultures that have been around longer than most people can imagine. If the Raramuri weren't able to run when the Europeans showed up, their culture likely would have been completely lost. Even though most of the Raramuri people today have become more integrated into modern society, they still run in their traditional footwear and clothing, preserving their ancient traditions and culture. If you were to pick up running right now, I can guarantee you that you would eventually discover the amazing things your body can do, as well as receiving more mental clarity and a better understanding of your body.